Hello, I just wanted to show you guys how I would edit a baby with really bad skin. So acne, eczema, heat rash, red splotches, jaundice, that kind of thing. So first I open up my image into Adobe Camera Raw, and I'm going to um, kind of tweak for any things which that's already been done. So if you need to increase exposure, contrast, highlight, play with any of that stuff, I'm not going to really get into a lot of that in here, but that would be the first thing that I would do. And then once I have those adjustments made, I would open it up into Photoshop. And what I'm going to do is, let's see, so I'm just gonna fix, usually I do the background first. So we'll do that real quick. So his skin, mom had called me or texted me the night before the session, said they thought he had heat rash. Doctor said it's just the newborn acne. He might have a little eczema going on as well, but he had some red, bumpy skin. So he's got, some white areas, dry areas, red areas, raised areas. So he had kind of it all going on. So first thing I do is kind of reassure the parents that I can do skin retouching. I don't tend to overdo it to make them look fake or plastic. That's not a great look, I don't think. So I try to keep their skin natural. You want to see still like the texture in their skin. So I will first run this Ultra Skin Brush from Appleseed Photography. I really love her action. She's got some great ones for newborns. So I'm just going to go about 75%. And this is just a brush that you brush this action on their skin, and you can already see that it is kind of taking care of some of this. It's just got like a little bit of a blur effect. You're not going to lose a lot of the texture. I am avoiding eyes, nostrils, any of that stuff. And then we're just going to go around the fingers. So you're going to make your brush bigger and smaller to do this, carefully going around. You're trying to just get it on the skin areas that have the issue, not taken away from, their detail of like their eyelashes and things like that. So avoiding creases. I'm just going to go over the nose, come down around, and you can make your brush bigger or smaller with the bracket keys. So I find that handy because I am editing on a Wacom tablet, and I've been doing that. Gosh, it's got to have been over a year now, and I love it. I was on a mouse before, and I had heard there was a learning curve. I really felt like I took to it pretty quick. So it just I just feel like I have better control over things. There are some things that probably I would say, yeah, a mouse would work a little bit better, but I don't know. I think it's a personal preference. So whatever action as far as skin smoothing or anything like that, if I do it on their face, I will do it on arms and legs as well. And then that just looks uniform. So I'm going to show you kind of what that looks like before and after. So that's already done a lot. So we're going to next run Blemish Blaster, which is also from Appleseed Photography's Actions. And they're just, I love them. So we're going to brush this on. So grab a brush. I increase my opacity to 100. And then I'm just going to brush over all the like blemished areas, little blotchy areas. We're just kind of going over anything that's standing out in the image. So this does take away a little bit of the texture. So you want to be careful where you're using it. You can click just on like each separate blemish. If you have a big group of blemishes, you can kind of brush around on them. But this I'm just doing quickly just so you can kind of get the gist of how this one works. I think I've had this for, it's been over a year probably, and I probably use it on every single session. So Denise has a lot of actions, and I think I have a small amount of them, but I am telling you, like, they, her actions are really great. I just find myself using them like a lot, and I have favorites. And I think, I can tweak them how they work for me, but there are times where I go in between like two because I'm like, oh my gosh, I like it like this, and then well, let's try this, and it's like, no, I don't know which one I like better. So I feel like her actions and my work, my whatever lighting, all that kind of stuff, style, I don't know, it just works good together. And it was like when I started using it, I'm like, this is it. This is how I want my edits to look. So very happy. And I probably should buy all of her stuff. But then I will probably just be more confused because they're all so good. It's like I feel like why mess with a good thing, right? But yeah, I probably will buy them. All right, so just cleaning up a little bit there. So it looks pretty good. I don't typically get rid of a lot of flakies on their skin, just anything that might be a little more distracting. So we'll just brush that over that real quick. All right, so let's see, before, after, huge difference. This poor guy. So I'm going to use just the spot heal brush and go over any that are kind of close to like creases, anything that we didn't get with the other. So this, I think, is more tedious, but sometimes it works better, for things. And I also use the patch tool. I just feel like whatever tool gets the job done, how you like it. And I mean, we've all been there playing around in Photoshop, and, it's a big learning curve. And once you get kind of how you like to do things, what makes it easy maybe to edit or whatever. So with the patch tool, if you're not familiar, you just take an area that you want to replace, drag it to an area that's similar, and then unclick, and it will drop that new, I guess, fresh, clean, blemish free, blotchy free area into the spot. So that's kind of good in some cases over your spot heal brush, which might be a little more tedious. So I'm just getting rid of like anything that's kind of standing out to me because I'm not going to go crazy. I still want him to look natural, but anything that maybe looks a little funky, we're just gonna patch tool it and drag it so it refreshes with a nice fresh area of skin, which is magical. I wish we could do this I wish I could do this just on my face, like some days for real. Okay. So I think that looks pretty good. I don't know where that British accent just came from, but we're going to go with it. So I can see he's got a little bit of stuff there. So I'm doing the spot brush again for this. I think some of that was like maybe a little hair off of something, or it could be his little fuzzy hairs that he has. You know how they have the little fuzzy hair all over them. It could be that. I don't know, but some of that is a little distracting. So, we could do this all day, because because clicking, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I just find myself click, click, click. It can be relaxing, but you know, when you have a lot of images to edit, you don't want to be doing that all day long. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I feel like this, yeah, let's try this. Let's see if we can get rid of this. So if you use your patch tool, which is this over here, you circle the area you want to replace and hit the backspace key. You'll get this box, just hit OK, and it usually will replace it. I mean, 9 times out of 10, it does a pretty good job, and you don't have to fuss with it. It's just a couple little clicks and you got it replaced. And it looks pretty good most of the time. If it doesn't, you can always redo it and see if it does a better job the next time. Sometimes it's just grabbing a weird area to replace it with. So anyway, we're gonna, he's got a little blotchy there too. He was blotchy, this poor baby. Yep, that is on my screen. Do you ever do that? You think there's something on the image and it's literally like something on your screen? Yeah, especially when you're tired and you've been working a lot and you've been editing a lot and your eyes are like, what is going on? Okay, so let's look at this. So that already looks so much better. So we've done all that. So next thing I do is run my base action, and I use Appleseed Photography's Appleseed base. I love. I'm going to drop it down. So her actions stay strong, which is great. I usually drop mine in between like 20 to 40, depending on the image and depending on which action it is. So I'll run that one first, and then I do have favorites, and Officially Baked 6 is a favorite. So this one, I just love what it does with the highlights and the contrast. And again, it does play strong. So we're going to go, that looks good. Close to 30 there. Drop that down. And then, oh, Botox. So background Botox is one of her actions that helps fix your messy, wrinkled backdrop. So when you're shooting newborn photography, you know, we use these backdrops on our tables and bean bags and all that, and we can pull them really, really tight. I know my assistant gets sick of me saying tighter. When you think it's tight enough, go tighter, just to get the wrinkles out and make it as smooth as possible, because that does help a lot in editing. So her action, this specific one, background Botox, that's really hard to say, will outline your subject. So I don't like that. I turn it off, and I just hit Control D to turn that off. And the reason why is because I feel like it makes a hard line between the subject and the background for some reason. I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed it, and I didn't really like it. So I feel like I can turn that off. There may be some instances where I want it on, and then as I get closer to the subject, I could turn it off if I wanted, which is nice. I like that I can have that control over it, but I will use just a maybe 30% is about my go-to. That way I can go over it a couple times if I want, and it's just slowly making it kind of better. I think it just blurs a little bit. It takes away, I guess, hot spots, or I mean, it's not really a hot spot, but like it evens the tone. We'll say the tone, takes care of some of the wrinkles, so you can see before and after. I love what that does. It's a very amazing. So the next thing I usually do is take my dropper tool and I click on an area, usually around baby's head, make another layer, grab a brush, and we'll stay at 30%. And I'm just gonna color almost where I did for just over the backdrop. And this just evens that out a little bit more. So you can see before and after what that did. So you're still leaving some shadow in the area behind because my light was here to the side. It comes on baby's face. You're going to get some shadow here. And I want to leave that for the most part. I want it to look natural. So we're doing pretty good already. Look at how cute he is. So the red remover that I use is Charlotte Gamache's, and it's from her Magic Box collection. The reds disappear. I just feel like this action, out of all the red removers that I have, has probably been my go-to for quite a while now, a couple years, and I just love it. I do about 50%. We're gonna do 52 just because he's very red. I mean, I can increase that if I want, or what I tend to do is start at a point and then I can go over it more if I need a little bit more, because some areas you might need a little bit more and then not so much in another. So I'm going to go over him just a little. You can already see that red remover is removing the red. And I just think it's a more natural, like there's some that I've tried that I didn't really like. I don't know what it was doing to the skin. I don't know why it pops up, but yeah, I'm just gonna remove a little bit. So once we get that, yeah, he just had some splotchy stuff going on over here that I might need to, maybe we'll do this. We'll increase just a little bit more and see what it does. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, poor guy. But you know, it's funny. Like the babies, they'll come in, they'll have this all going on, and then the next time you see them, they have the best skin ever. All right, I'm gonna give him just a smidge of color back because I took some out, and I'm gonna go like 40. Maybe we'll do like 40-ish, just to give him a little bit back because I feel like I took a little bit out. Let's have his lips there too for a little color. As you not see. I'm going to run a different erase red. It's just a lighter. This one isn't as, I guess, strong as the other one. And I'm just going to really target just the red areas there that I feel like are still hanging on. But I think that looks better. So before, after. Before. Okay. All right. So that is pretty much how I would edit a newborn. If I did any sharpening, I would do that at the very end, and we just go over eyelashes, the nose, and the mouth. So anything in the center of the image, I might touch, like the hair, the eyelashes, the nose, and the mouth are typically what I would do. And I don't do it on every image, but if I did, if I just felt like it needed a little bit, that's what I would do. And then crop. Usually do a 5x7. No particular reason other than I like the way that it kind of looks, but that is our finished image. So let's take a look before. So if you go to File, hit Revert, it will show you the way it looked before. Oh my goodness, this poor little guy. So you can see before and after. So I think I'm happy with this. I look at his skin. I still see the texture in his skin. I don't think he looks plastic. So that really is like the ultimate goal when I'm editing newborn skin, is keep them looking as realistic as possible, just with a little bit of a oomph to it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe and keep watching for more.